I'm really excited to share this with y'all. But the only way that it's going to be of any value to any of you is if you actually use it. So, I mean, we talked about last week, ways to talk to your hot market. We can always, talk about warm market as well, but these are different strategies that, you really want to try and use every single time you're talking to someone. I'm going to go take you through an exercise today that's going to help you generate a bunch of content. And then I'll also share with you, if we have time this week, the strategy in which to use all of this content that you're going to come up with. Because how many times have you, you don't want to just, and I'm guilty of doing this because I'll be dry in my head, or I'm running out of time or whatever, and I'll just throw something up onto my page or because I haven't been on lately. But this is going to be a great resource for you to just take a peek at and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to talk about this. So number one, the first thing that you want to keep in mind, and I actually have this on a Post-it note on my computer, because I typically, because I just have the luxury of doing most of my work from my computer. So, anytime you are posting, doing a live video, sharing in a group, what have you, you really want to do one of three things, and that is to inform, encourage, or entertain. Because, we all know people don't wake up in the, I don't know, I really would wonder what the statistics are on this. The number of people that wake up in the morning and immediately open Facebook, which is a personal pet peeve of mine. I think it's such a waste of time, and it's a time suck, and it sucks you into some virtual vortex that hijacks your own personal agenda. My husband does it every morning, and I roll my eyes. But they do. And I guarantee you, no one is opening up their Facebook when they first, Julie's getting gas in case y'all are wondering what she's doing. Nobody is like, let me open up Facebook because I want to buy something. It just doesn't work that way. And so, curiosity marketing is obviously the way to go and all the rage. And there's a reason for it. It's why I never, ever, ever say the name of my products or the name of my company when I'm on posts, because I want to talk to people and get them interested so that they reach out to me and they don't go to Google. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions about that so far?
No, that makes perfect sense.
Okay. Kelly, can you put a thumbs up or a thumbs down in towards the window? Because I can't really see your face. I got you, Mike. Okay. Okay, so once we finish this exercise, you're going to have it as a resource that you can just refer back to for so many post ideas. And I'll show you what mine looks like when we're done. So what we're going to do is we're going to create what we call your 3 amigos list. All right. And the first amigo is the awesome. That's better, Kelly. The second list is the suck. And the third list is even if. So before we do that, I want you all to, and I'm going to ask you, before you start your list, who are you writing a list for? So don't mess around with this. Think of who you want primarily as a client or a wellness partner, okay? Are they male? Are they female? Are they your age? Or do you not care how old they are? Are they a struggling network marketer? Are they 50 or 60 years old and worried about getting Alzheimer's disease and cancer? Are they, and I'm going to use this as an example because Kelly and I had a conversation about this the other day. Are they teachers and moms of kids with ADHD? Because right now, until Kelly has a chance to really dig in further, that is her, am I correct, Kelly, when I'm saying that we decided that that's your target audience for right now, your niche market?
Yes, they are. I've got other people in mind that I'm reaching out to.
And that
Yeah,
will always,
yeah, that's basically about it.
that will always be the case, that you'll have other people in mind. I mean, you can't not have conversations with people and not think they need Amare. Everybody freaking needs Amare. You just like it, you know, it's unbelievable. That's why, yeah. So, but when you're marketing on Facebook, it's in order to avoid being a part of the noise. There is so much freaking noise out there in terms of social media and people marketing and, you know, blasting, oh, we have a sale, or we have, you know, it's free to sign up as a preferred customer and you get a free product. Well, why? That's not going to make somebody want to buy from you. I mean, you know, like I had shared the other day, like people typically don't buy their way into something, they buy their way out of something. You know, they need to identify with a pain point and understand, like, what problem is this going to solve for me? All right, so I'm going to just give you a minute to pick one. Pick an audience that you're going to be talking to, because you're going to make a list about their awesome, what sucks for them, and then their even ifs. And if you need me to ask you more questions to help you figure out what your market is, let me know, and I'll help you narrow it down. Does anybody have any questions with this? Do they need some help with it?
Because I was pumping gas, I kind of missed some of that. I apologize. So what are some, like, honing in?
Okay, so you want to, okay, and first of all, I want to say this is not set in stone, all right? Whatever you decide on this call today, you're not like married to. You can do this. You can do this awesome, suck, even if list for different types of markets, okay? But this is going to give you a way to talk to that target market that's going to make them, it's just going to give you ideas on topics and ways to present, like to talk about what that audience's problem is. You're going to be able to agitate that problem, and then you're going to be able to give them a really awesome solution that's going to make them say, I think I want to talk to Julie. And so, again, don't overthink this. You're not married to it. You can do this for several different types of target markets. For this purpose alone, though, I just asked, like, are they male? Are they female? Are they your age? Compare their age. Are they, you know, and I thought of you, Julie, like 50 or 60 plus and worried about Alzheimer's and cancer. They like being able to do some damage control, or not damage control, but like repair, and stuff like that. So you can do this exercise over and over for different kinds, but I just want you guys to pick one. Well, that was all garbled because you lost your signal, but I think you were saying that you think your problem is that your audience is always too broad. So go ahead.
I don't feel like I know which questions to ask myself to hone it in and be more specific. You know, because if I look at like empty nesters who have finished raising a big family, and are, you know, didn't take care of themselves, that's too broad. Do I want to hone in, like you said, on those and include people that are worried about Alzheimer's, or do I want to hone in on people that are using pharmaceuticals that want to get off of them, or people? So anyway, go ahead, I'll listen.
So what about okay, and we can talk about this later, since you can't write anyways, I would say for you right now, I would choose like empty nesters of big families, because I do think the fact that you had 6 children, 4 of them all at once, that has contributed to your Dory syndrome.
has contributed to my what?
Dory syndrome, your ADD. I mean, like, and that's something that you can talk about, like, you can relate to. I hope I didn't just hurt your feelings.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Okay, good. All right, I'm gonna put you on mute. Y'all, have y'all had a chance to think about yours? Does anybody have theirs identified? Because I'm not going until someone talks.
I put teachers, parents of ADD, ADHD, and I put females.
And Mike,
Probably veterans would be my list.
oh, I like that. Okay. All right, I'm gonna mute you. All right, Miss Fundus, what's yours?
No, you guys are so far along, so much further along than me because I'm not actually been very active since we started. So I really haven't picked. It's probably more along the lines of who have I been working with. They're all younger than me because they were all staff that reported to me. So maybe in the 30s, 40s.
So Kathy, if you were to think about your own personal brand, or do you want to be the mentor grandma for middle-aged worker bees? I mean, is that who you want to target?
Well, no, because once I retire, I'll be out of all that. So I don't.
So
I
then
don't
tell
really.
me, what do you love about these products?
What do
Like,
I
what
love.
just sets your soul on fire when you think about Amari and you're like, oh my gosh, I freaking love this. Like, what is one of those things that you think?
So it would be at my age, the energy level and the energy level that I feel. Probably,
Okay.
for my age.
So, and I wouldn't call you a grandma, but I know you have a grandson, so I feel safe saying that.
I am a grandma.
I was on a call yesterday for this program that I'm in, and there's this one lady who her slogan is "Grandma gets her groove back," and I loved that. So I'm not suggesting that's
No, but that makes sense for me.
yes.
That's who I would relate to the most, probably.
Right. Okay. So, obviously I'm not suggesting you use her slogan, but that could be your target market in this particular situation is grandmas who, because what grandma isn't so freaking excited about spending time with her sweet little, whether it's baby, toddler, grandkid, school age, and yet they're so darn tired they have to, scheduled around nap time, their nap time, not the kids.
No, and exactly. And Julie knows that's one of the things I've always said. I want to be able to, I like the energy that I get out of what we do because it gives me the ability to keep up and surpass the energy level of the grandkids so that I am not so beat after a day with the kids.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And that has always prevented my mom from being a cool grandma. So I admire that that's important to you. So then that can be who you're talking about when you make your list. Okay. All right. So now let me put you on mute. Well, I don't really need to. You're not loud at all. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do our three amigos list. Okay. And if you're not driving, then I really want you to take the time because I'm going to set a timer and give you a little bit of time to write it. Okay. So your first list is your awesome list. Okay. And when I set the timer, what I want you to do is write as much as you can. Okay. Every single reason it would be awesome for your audience to work with you. What are the outcomes that they're going to get from the product? What outcome are they going to get from being a part of your community? That's one thing I love about network marketing is the community it creates among women. Are you waving your hand?
No.
Okay. the community that it creates, and the love and the friendships and the camaraderie. I think about, my gosh, you know, Kelly Barton and I knew each other when my kids were at her elementary school, but now we are pretty tight, you know. And then there's Jules and I, and so that's one of my favorite things. So sorry, I went off on a tangent. What, you know, what outcomes will they have from joining you? Maybe they're going to love the product so much that they're going to want to, you know, share it with all their, like, using Kathy as an example, all of her grandma friends that want to get their groove back. And I think about Kelly, like, girl, you're sitting on a gold mine. I mean, elementary schools are so, I mean, there are so many challenges in there now. Kids have changed so much. So I want you to think of all of the awesome, everything. And you can write, because they poop every day. I mean, if it's good, put it on the list. And yeah, and that, so I'm going to set my timer. I'm going to give y'all 5 minutes. Tom just yelled at me because I admitted I ate all the chocolate and told him he needed to pick up some more. He went, Mama. All right, y'all ready? Insert Jeopardy music. Go. Ding, 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 ding. It's been 5 minutes. How many things do you have on your list, Kels? I unmuted you.
Oh, I didn't list them like that. I just kind of wrote them all out. So I'll probably have 6 to 8, maybe.
All right, awesome. Mikey?
Probably about 4 or 5.
Okay. Okay. Jules, did you want to say something?
No, I just was turning up my.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So I'm going to take a minute here before we continue. I'm going to share my screen so that you guys can see mine and show you just how many different ideas I have. I did this for 10 minutes the first time. And then I went back. You know, what's funny is I can always think of like 500 reasons why somebody would want to join Amare, join me, you know, take advantage of this opportunity. But I was a little bit in the dry department that first day that I did it on that one. I'm gonna pull up my desktop. Let me know when you can see my screen.
Can see it.
Okay. Mike?
Yep.
Okay.
Can
So,
you make the print a little smaller? I'm just kidding.
I'm like,
I think I need to get a magnifying glass with my glasses.
Yes,
really?
it's small.
Okay, well, you can see there's, hang on. I mean, there's a lot. And I can come in here when I'm wondering what to post about. Like under the suck, I have 55 or 54 items. Okay, just making sure it's not like noon, so I don't have to turn the clock off. All right, so now we're going to do the suck. Okay, and this is time for you to write down everything that your audience dreads doing. Why haven't they solved this, or anything that's just sucky for them? Why haven't they solved the problem yet? What are they afraid of? What limiting beliefs are holding them back? What resources have they not had yet? What have they, you could even like list, like, Mike, I'm thinking about you and veterans. You know, what have they tried? If it's PTSD that is the main issue, like what have they tried and why didn't it work? You know, was it side effects? Was it, you know, gave them ED? Yeah, you can post about erectile dysfunction one day. Let me know when you do that because I want to see it. And so, all right. So, any questions about what you're going to be doing there? I mean, on this next 5 minutes. All right. I'm starting the timer. And I'm going to go tinkle. So, I'll be right back. Okie dokes. Are you unmuting it? Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Kelly, did you get some good stuff?
Got about a half a dozen things.
Okay. Mike, I noticed you turned your video off. Are you still there?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Don't yell at me. Did you get some listed?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. I'm while we're doing this, I'm in the background working on getting my list into a PDF so I can show you guys, and it's not so small. All right. So now that we have our awesome and our suck, we're going to do the even if. And this one is a little bit more difficult. So I'm going to give you some food for thought on maybe how to figure out what the suck or what the even if is. Okay, so you're going to write down why your audience hasn't solved their problems, and a lot of times this is driven by fear. So what is it that they do not want to do in order to solve the problem? Whether it's they don't want to spend their money or whatever. But you know, it would be, I can't do that because ... I used something that I learned from another coach program that I was in, where I learned that fear is driven by 3 things. Okay. People, when you have a fear, you can ask yourself, am I afraid of the process? Excuse me. So like if I were to invite somebody to be in this business with me, a lot of people will say to me, oh my gosh, I could never do what you do. I could never do the live videos that you do. And I'm like, this is your journey, not mine. You don't have to do what I do. But that's, you know, that's one of the fears, is the actual process. The fear of the outcome. So maybe some people hold themselves back in being successful because they're not sure they'll be able to handle their business once it starts to scale up. Or maybe they, you know, the outcome of being a leader and they don't think that they have leadership qualities. And then, or the fear of loss. And that actually has, that used to be one of my biggest things that held me back with Beachbody was, especially, you know, because when I first started, I was like so skinny and so just ripped for me. And, you know, I'm older and I just don't look like that anymore. And I remember thinking people are going to not think I'm the same person because I don't look like I did before. And that made me very scared of losing that former persona. And I remember my coach, Marcy, said to me, but what if you're better? And I was like, ooh. And it's true, I am better than I was. So those are the 3 things: fear of loss, fear of like what you're going to lose, fear of the outcome, or fear of the process. And if those should help jar, you know, your thoughts on the even if for these, you know. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes. Do you have any questions before I start the timer? No, you're good? Okay. I'm going to mute myself. How perfect that the timer goes off and the clock is chiming. Okay, can I just share a moment with y'all for a second? So I'm going to unmute you, Kelly, so I don't feel like I'm by myself. Why is it not working? So Brooksy is at a dive clinic this morning. Like it's a talent ID session. And we figured with all his crazy trampoline stuff that maybe diving would be a good sport for him. And I'd reached out to some people in the local area. So Tom just sent me some videos of Brooksy. They did a dry land workout and then they drove to the swim facility. And Tom just sent me some videos and I like got all choked up and misty eyed and mushy. And I was like, why is this making me cry? And he's like, because he found his thing. And it's so exciting seeing him do some of this stuff and get feedback and come out of the water and be like, all excited. Okay, so did you guys get some things listed?
I did.
Mike, I don't know why I can't unmute you. You're like, but I did make mine bigger. So I'm gonna now share with you how I was taught how to utilize this list. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen so you can see what mine looks like.
Much better.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I was on a call.
Oh, that's why you were on mute. So this is what mine looks like. It's long. And what I've been taught is, okay, so you can take the how-to, which is awesome, without the suck, even if. So an example, how to have more energy than you have had in years without drinking caffeinated products all day long, even if you don't tolerate caffeine. I just pulled that one out of my rear.
Hello?
You can do the awesome without the suck and the even if. So you could have the confidence, or you could have the income you were looking for without having to spam your friends and people that you don't know with weird messages, even if you've never known how to do it before. And then you could do stop the suck, even if, and you can have awesome. So you can stop letting your, Mike, I don't speak veteran, okay, so I'm just going to try and come up with one that's related to your market that you are working on. But you can stop, not going to family events because you're worried that you're going to have a trigger. Even if you've never been able to do this before, so that you can enjoy all of the people that you love and stop giving up being a part of family events or. So the ones that she has listed are like how to have amazing lashes without spending hours with your eyes closed, even if you're on a tight budget. So someone who wants to have amazing lashes and is on a tight budget. And then, of course, the suck part of that was, if someone's going to have fake lashes put on, it takes hours to do it. Stop sacrificing your time with your family, even if you think quitting your 9 to 5 is impossible. You can have a business that gives you the freedom that you want. Does anybody have anything on their list that they want me to try and massage since I'm learning this myself? Okay. And Mike, you're on mute. So if you're talking, I can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry, I had to take a couple of phone calls.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was thinking about this when I stepped away from the computer. Like, I don't know how valuable you think this lesson is, because I know you don't do as much of your marketing on Facebook. I mean, you're on phone calls, but I do think that being more aware of what people's pain points are and figuring out how to massage in the awesomeness that you bring, and getting around the even if that somebody might have is helpful.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, for sure.
So how to communicate these. Your communication, it's never ever ever about you. It's always about them and the problem that you can solve. And the strategy that I was taught was, identifying the problem, then agitating that problem, and then providing a solution. So like yesterday, I prepared, I'm going to give you just one example, and then I'm going to have to end the call because we're almost at 1 o'clock, and I'll stop the recording. And Julie and Kelly and whomever, I'm happy to behind the scenes share with you some of the stuff I've come up with through the training I'm doing. Mike, I know you probably need to get on the phone. But these girls have been dying to see some of the behind the scenes stuff that I've been doing. And I told them after the call today, if they had time, I would do that. But I never did get to do this Facebook Live yesterday because my sister called me. Well, my dad had called and wanted to talk to me about Tammy. Yeah, I told you about Kelly. Did I tell you that my sister's getting a divorce?
Yeah.
Okay, it's been awful, and I'm not going to go down that road right now. But like, no one. I don't even think Jesus knew that this was coming, and so it has completely blown our minds. So Tammy called, and then my dad called, and then I ran out of time. So I'll do it another day. But the problem that I was going to talk about was, some might call it mommy brain, that fatigue, the exhaustion that so many people feel. How many times does somebody say, a mother's job is never done, or there just aren't enough hours in the day? I know for me, like, my life got a teensy weensy bit easier. Julie, who are you smiling at? Are you talking to Snow White over there?
My husband is playing with the dogs.
Oh, I thought maybe he was mowing the lawn naked. Okay, well, I'm glad that you're enjoying. Your honey is so cute with the dogs. Okay. So, I talk like my life got a tiny bit easier when, and I'm demonstrating for you right now. I'm not trying to like be a long-winded, but I'm demonstrating like how much time I'm talking about the problem so that people really start to relate to the problem that I'm talking about, and I said, like, my life got a little bit easier when I accepted that I just am never going to check all the boxes that are on the list. We moms, we have so much on our plates. We work, we have the house, the kids, extended family that we help care for, self-care, if we have a social life or time for a social life. And then, I go on to say into the next part of the call, so it's really no surprise that most mamas are always tired. And it's going to look different for everyone, but I'll tell you, this isn't the normal. Like the always being so tired and, never having the energy to, do those little extra things around your house that you really wish you could get done, but you just don't have the energy for. Maybe you have trouble falling asleep every night and then you wake up exhausted the next day, all to just rinse, repeat, do it all over again. Or perhaps, you rely heavily on caffeinated beverages all day long because you just are so tired. By the time you get home, from work or from all the stuff that you have to take care of that day, y'all just look at the love on Julie's face while she's watching her honey play with the dogs. I mean, have you ever seen more joy on someone's face? But you know, by the end of the day, you've got nothing. You know, laundry, bills, chores, etc. Like that's gonna have to wait for a day off because you're toast. So I am really right here. I am agitating the problem. I'm talking about all of the suck about this problem. And I actually talk about you. I wrote in my notes, like your story, Kelly. I mean, just a teensy weensy bit of it. And then I go on and I say, you know, this is no way to feel. It's no fun feeling like this. You're not as mentally sharp. You know, you make more mistakes. You can't concentrate. You got to pay attention because you've got a deadline and you just can't focus because you're so freaking tired. Not to mention, think about how irritable you are when you're so tired. I mean, I don't know about you, but I heads off, and I'm definitely not the most reasonable. I mean, I know there were many times after my babies were born that Tom begged me to go to bed. He's like, I promise you, you will think differently about this in the morning. And I was like, no, I won't. And then the next day I would wake up and I'd be completely embarrassed because I was quite the fool the night before. And then I talk about how, you know, unmotivated they are because of it. And then if somebody is on, you know, or if there's someone to interact with on a live video, I might try and pull them into the conversation and say, like, what are you not motivated to do? You know, but then is it you're not motivated to work out, you're not motivated to meal prep, or even cook dinner, period. You're not motivated to do the extra things around your house that you would love to get done, but you just you don't have it, you know? Vacuuming, cleaning the coffee stains off the floor from your husband, laundry, like those are all going to get done, and anything beyond that is just not happening because you're so damn tired. So I listed the problem, and then I really, really agitated it and made people realize, like, yes, this is a problem, and yes, it would be lovely if it wasn't, because I'm talking about all the ways that it affects them, and I am giving them a picture of the suck. All right. And then I didn't get any further with my notes, but I was going to keep it super simple on this and really, Mike, I was going to keep it super simple. I know, you know, I'm long-winded. But I was just going to say, you know, it doesn't have to be this way. You know, so much of this is how our bodies are responding to the world we live in. And, you know, if you can give your body what it needs to support it so that you can start, you know, having all cylinders fire again. Let's go from that 4-cylinder car that you're working at right now to the 8-cylinder car that you are, because you're a badass. And you know, that's how you deserve to feel every day, and is absolutely possible. I have helped many people do it. You know, when you optimize the gut, and I'm not ever going to talk about the products, I'm not going to talk about microbiome. I'm going to say, you know, when you optimize the gut brain axis, because nobody out there is talking about gut brain axis. You talk about microbiome and people immediately think plexus. I talked to 2 people yesterday and they're like, is it like plexus? Because I tried that. And so when you optimize the gut brain axis and you really get your body's systems, you know, at attention, it's amazing what can happen. You know, so I invite you to talk to me if you want to, you know, me to answer questions. I will give you the tools, or I'll share with them, you know, and go from there. So I identified the problem, the suck, and then I talked about the even if, and then I also talked about the awesome at the end and what is possible. And I, for this live video, I probably would share Kelly's story more, because Kelly used to come home from work every day and just be done. I remember Kelly telling me once, I'll lay on the couch and I'll look at how dirty my floorboards are, but I'm not cleaning them. So I want to wrap this up. So I want to unmute you guys and see, like, do you have any questions? Or I don't know what you do to your computer to make people not be able to unmute you, Mike, but okay, there you are. I'll stop my share. Do y'all want to see my list at all before I stop sharing?
Can you put it in a doc that you can share, like in the comments of the record, so we can, you know, because it's so tiny that on my phone that I can't really even see it.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I'll put it in a file. Or actually, you know what? I will put a comment. If you want a copy of this, give me your email and I'll send it to you. I don't want people just willy-nilly downloading it and sharing it with everybody because it's kind of personal.
Oh, okay, sure, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I don't mind sharing it. I don't want someone to be like, oh, this would go great in the A-Team wellness. So any questions?
I had a quick question, and I know you're trying to wrap it up, and maybe we can talk privately about this. But when you were,
Once I'm done recording, yeah, go ahead.
well,
No, ask the question.
when you were talking about what people have, you know, the sucky part, and I really identified mindset for my age group. I run into like almost every single time mindset. Like, no, you know, like they're very much into conventional medicine. They're very much into believing that they're going to go into their retirement years being on pharmaceuticals or having operations or whatever. So when you said that we need to, that's the suck, okay? And then I wasn't quite,
That's the even if.
well, the sucky part would be that they're not doing anything about it, right? But I don't know how you address mindset. So maybe we can talk more about that. But I'm like, I feel like that's my biggest roadblock is people's mindset. They're like, oh, that's okay for you, Julie, because you're not on any pharmaceuticals and you blah, blah, blah. And you don't have this issue that I have. And you never dealt with high blood pressure, or you never dealt with, I don't know, like a knee replacement. So that's easy for you, but you know, for the rest of us. So that's what I think my biggest,
And that is
go ahead.
a huge uphill battle. And from what I've learned so far, I would say that the foundation traffic for like really finding people to put into your funnel, we need to help you find groups that have your people in them. Okay. Here's, for example, I spent 2 hours in groups of women with anxiety one day. And I made myself sit in a chair until I went through 10 groups, which took 2 hours. And by the time I was done, I literally wanted to slit my wrist. And I was like, these are not my people. This is not, I can't. Like, none of them wanted to help themselves.
Okay, I can do that. That's a good place to start.
When I went into a group of Crunchy Moms. I started reading like the posts and the comments, and I felt like unicorns, rainbows, and butterflies were all over my office. I'm like, oh my gosh, these are my people. And it was so exciting because, you want to find people that have somewhat similar belief system that you do, so that you don't have such a freaking uphill battle. Like, you're not going to talk somebody into, their fear is that their doctor isn't going to approve of them trying something natural. And
those are not my people, right? Okay. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that, because I just automatically can't, all my Ben Greenfield people right there. And I'm in a fasting group. By the way, if anybody wants to do a 3-day fast with Kathy and I, we're starting after dinner tonight. All my people in my fasting group would be more my people. So thank you. I appreciate that. I totally forgot about that. So I will do that today. I think that's where I need to start, is just getting in those groups, like you said, and finding my people, so that I don't even have to worry about mindset.
And that can be a real rabbit hole in terms of time.
You know me well.
What I've learned is from the mentors that I'm working with is I set a timer for 30 minutes, and it is a race. I literally am challenging myself to touch 5 influencers in that 30 minutes. I don't mean just go into a group and randomly comment. I'm scrolling through posts and comments and I'm looking for what people are saying. Do they sound like an idiot? Do they sound like a leader? Do they sound like someone who knows what they're talking about? Do they sound like someone that has influence? And if I think, oh, this has potential, I'll right click, open link in new tab, go check out their profile. And if every profile picture is of a dog, I'm not going to click on them because they've got insecurity issues and they're not ever going to want to post on Facebook.
Got it.
You know, and I look for 5 influencers a day. We can talk about that on another
Okay.
call, like how to build
Okay.
traffic. But
Thank you.
you're welcome.